Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be going over my reselling business and how much I made over the first 6 months of the year. And basically, I put together a little slideshow that way you guys can see it a little bit easier. There's some charts in here too, and we're going to go through it right now. I've been running this business for over 5 years now. It is a shell of what it used to be, but I still continue it. Right now, it is funding my lifestyle until I finish my tax license. So that is the story behind the business right now. I do want to continue to grow it and eventually not have to work in the tax industry. But for the time being, this is just a hobby, kind of. Um, but you'll kind of see how it's been the first 6 months of the year. And you guys can let me know what you guys think about it. But over the first 6 months, we had $22,000 in sales, almost 400 items sold. We were missing one over the last 6 months. So basically, 22,000 is not what I've made, obviously. There's gonna be expenses, what I paid for the inventory, all of that. So we'll go ahead and go into that. So this is pretty interesting. I put this together, I think, at the beginning of last year. I made a spreadsheet, well, basically like a KPI tracker. That way, all of this stuff is already calculated every time I sell a shoe. It's very automated now. It makes it much easier for me to manage the business, and you'll see how many hours per week I really work on it. It's not much, so you'll be probably pretty surprised by how little I work on it. But in January, we could see we had the highest gross profit and the highest profit margin. Actually, no, the highest profit margin was March, but I sold the tide for the least amount of items. I think January and February is stronger because of obviously Christmas sales rolling into New Year's, and then I also have one of the platforms I use, I sell to the Asian market, so Chinese New Year's in like January, February, so that's usually when I get a little bit of a jump in revenue. So this is actually one of my best Januaries ever, even with the years I've made a lot more profit. Um, but January has never been that great, so I think I found my balance with January, and I just got to start replicating some of the other things I did in other months, previous years. So but yeah, that's pretty much it. It shows the gross profit based on the sales. So I've been working very hard to get this margin percentage up. It used to only be like 15%, but that's the year I made like 50 grand. So um, it's all relative based on, volume and all of that. So right now the trends have changed. I started off by doing a lot of trendy stuff, and that really didn't work for too long. I made a lot of money the first couple years, but after that, I lost a lot of money because I had inventory sitting that I thought would go up in value. Nike, Adidas, they started implementing like this huge change where they just re-released pairs with the same SKUs instead of changing the SKU number, and tanked the market. So I got pretty screwed. So now I've kind of built a business to not be able to get screwed by the economy or these companies that are just, pushing a lot of product out. So, yep, you could kind of see winter demand helped the sales and profit there, and then slower season during March and April. I really don't know why. Usually, I would start seeing a jump in March and April after January and February, but um, not really sure why. May and June, I started seeing a lot of the Crocs that I picked up during the winter time start to sell. So I think that's why my revenue came up a little bit more. And my July numbers have been pretty good. They're not on here, but they've been better than my June numbers, actually. So that's good. And August seems like it'll be pretty good as well. Pretty consistent, which is nice. So, yep. So you can see I made a average gross profit of 39.67%. And then gross profit per sales at $22. But obviously 22,000 in sales is not your actual profit, and even this gross profit number is not what I actually made. So that is where the operating expenses come in. And the operating expenses are at $1,737.45. And you can see the splitting between all of the fees. Most of this is gonna always be the software, recurring software. So like I pay for, I think, 2 groups or 3 groups, something like that. But basically, I pay to be in these cook groups. They send links to different products that I can pick up online, and they also send a lot of discount codes for in-store purchases. So that is something that will not change. It'll probably stay this amount for every 6 months for the next few years. I think the 2 groups that I'm in now are pretty much where I'm going to stay, or maybe it's 3 groups, but um, I'm going to stay in those for a while. They seem to be pretty good. And then shipping and supplies. So this number is actually higher than it should be. I had a lot of fees for consignment that I didn't realize I was accruing. Um, so basically, I sold a shoe to the Asian market. It didn't pass inspection for quality control. So this was like a few pairs. And then they were basically charging me like every single day 20 cents per shoe that was in their storage. I didn't even realize. So, because after February, the demand dropped. So I wasn't using that application as much. So it was just the stuff that was consigned there, maybe 10 items listed. And I was focusing mostly on eBay and Alias. So didn't even realize. So that's like a couple $100 probably that I got. Maybe not $200, probably $100 though. That kind of just got thrown away, which I didn't even realize. So that's something I can work on. And then shipping boxes and all that stuff. I found a cheaper supplier by like almost half for the boxes, and then I also had to buy tape for the first time in 5 years. So that is why that is a little bit higher than expected. And then storage and organization. So this is mostly shelving or big 27-gallon bins. I put all of the stuff that has no boxes into those bins. And I bought, I think, 40 bins. And I think I bought a couple shelves in the first 6 months too, which this next 6 months, I probably don't have to buy any bins, so that'd be really nice. I did buy, actually, there is some that I bought in July that's not included in this, so that would probably be my last purchase of bins. I have about 10 of them open. I can fit about 12 pairs in each, so about 100 pairs. So as things sell, I also, fill those spaces up too. So right now, I don't have to worry too much about it, but the next 6 months, I should be having a smaller operating expense for both shipping, supplies, and then storage and organization. So that's pretty cool. So this is what the business actually made after the gross profit, operating expenses. Pre-tax profit is at $7,000. Some of this will be offset by mileage on my vehicle, so that's good to know as well. But my pre-tax net margin is at 31%, which I think is pretty good. I think if I keep it above 30%, I'd be pretty happy. And I'm not too worried about increasing the margins because I do like the inventory I'm buying right now. And if I look for higher margin items, I may have to sit on them for a longer period of time. And right now, the average item takes about 10 months to sell, which I do like. It's within a year. So I'm probably going to keep it the way it's been. And then this is a time commitment. It's usually only 4 to 5 hours a week, which is really nice. That's mostly just either if I go out and buy stuff or pack stuff up. I mean, other than that, it doesn't take much time. I've built systems in place where I don't have to worry about it as much. So the total hours is a little over 100 for the 6 months, and my pre-tax profit is about per hour. My bad. Is $54 to $68 an hour. So that's pretty good. So that's kind of why you guys can see probably why I want to get this to be able to be my full-time gig. That way I mean, I'd be making over 100 grand a year if I can get it to a good point just by myself. I mean, that would be I mean, 4 to 5 hours per week, I could probably increase that to 40 to 50 hours a week, and I still wouldn't burn out with this business. I was doing 70 hours a week at one point, and sometimes more depending on the driving to certain places, and I don't have to do that as much now. So I've cut a lot of that BS out, as you can say. So these are the systems that keeps it manageable. It makes it very, very easy to get done. So as soon as I buy inventory, I put into the spreadsheet, I label it as not listed on the status. And then what I do is I take the photos, I create the drafts on eBay, and then I add the photos to the drafts, of course, and then I list 1 to 2 items per day or 1 to 2 listings. It kind of just depends on um, what I have that I need to like list. Right now I have like 20 items, so I'm doing one a day because I don't know when I'm gonna go out and buy more inventory. I'm kind of deciding probably towards the middle of September is when I'll buy inventory heavily again for quarter 4, but I have not done that yet. So what I'm doing right now is just listing whatever I have, 1 to 2 items a day, and then that's pretty much it. Anything that has like, say I go to Adidas and I buy like 40 pairs of one shoe, then I just do a variation listing, and that would count as my 1 to 2 listings per day. So it's not really 1 or 2 items. It's really listings. So I should have changed that. But and then number 5 is just putting inventory on the shelf. Once I take the photos, I put it into the shelf, and then in the spreadsheet I have a tab where it says location SKU, and in each of my shelves and bins have different SKUs. So as soon as I put something up, I label that in there, and then as soon as I get a sale, it says exactly where it's at. I grab it, I pack it, and I ship it out, and it's very, very easy. This system has been honestly the best system I've created so far, and I think this is gonna stay for a long time. And these are the things I learned. Revenue is not profit. I mean, that's something I learned a long time ago, but I wanted to include it because of, I mean, some people will see this and be like, "Oh, you made 22 grand." It's like, no, I did not. That is not what I took home. So, seasonality does matter. Um, Honestly, buying for the summertime has been the best thing I could do during the wintertime because I used to not even make $500 in June and July, and that has been a lot better now because I've been buying Crocs and more summer things like slides, stuff like that. Um, Bad inventory can trap cash in space. Bad inventory is like a disease and it spreads very, very fast. So it's better to get it gone than just leaving it there. The longer you leave it there, the more you think about it. The faster it goes, the faster you forget about it. That's the way I think about it now, and just got to get rid of it. And sometimes taking a loss is a better decision because for me at least, say I bought a shoe for $100, I'm losing like 50 on it, and I just let it sit there. Well, that $100 is not doing anything at this point, and it's just losing money. So you might as well recover the $50, buy more inventory, and then recover the losses faster. The longer you sit on stuff, I mean, it just it just goes down in value. Because things have a shelf life. I mean, trends change, all that stuff, and I do as much as I can to not be influenced by trends, but at the same time, it's like, okay, if I buy a shoe that's been 5 years past the date that it was manufactured, it's like, okay, you got to think about it, like who actually still wants this. Sometimes you will find that person, but they're few and far between as the trends change. So it's better to get things listed as fast as possible and take your losses fast. So and then good systems matter, um, especially on eBay. I'm going to become a top seller by the end of this month because of the good system that I created now. Before I would double list things, I wouldn't list things, I would mess a lot of things up. I'd mess up the sizes on the listings. I mean, all sorts of things you can imagine. So, and that caused me to not be able to become a top rated seller, and probably missed out on a lot of sales because of that. Because people do look for that top rated seller badge when it comes to eBay. And then, yeah, just improving the inventory I buy in the second half is going to be the most important thing. I got to be very picky because I don't have a lot of capital to work with right now. I am actively trying to pay down my debt at the same time as I am now cutting out my Uber income completely to fully take this online business seriously. Not just a shoe business, but also potentially creating a QuickBooks bookkeeping business, and then this YouTube channel. I'd love to be able to make money from this, teach other people how to make money online as well, and just help people grow their businesses and create systems, because that's the number one thing. I mean, with businesses, the better systems you have, the more money you make with the less time that you put in. So, and everybody wants to sit around and do nothing and make a lot of money, right? So the faster we can get to that point, then the faster we can all be happy. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you did like it. Comment, let me know what you think. If you have a business, you're reselling business as well, let me know what you think about it. Any tips, or if you want to connect with me, my Instagram is in the description. Follow me. I'll follow you back. We can talk. And if you have any tips, I could also help you as well. And we don't have to charge anybody anything. So just help each other out is the best thing you can do. So yep. So that will be it. And the next video will be coming out in the next week. So I am gonna be on a accelerated path of posting. So I'm very excited for that. I am gonna start planning for the next one as soon as this one's uploaded. So other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.